I get it, you're standing on a construction site or in your garage, laser level in hand, and you're trying to decide if it's worth shelling out for a high-end rotary laser or just making do with a cheaper line laser you already have. You've probably heard the buzz about self-leveling rotary lasers, but you also know the pain of buying something that sounds great on the spec sheet and then spending a whole day wrestling with a piece of equipment that won't stay level when you move it. That hesitation is exactly what I felt before I spent a weekend testing the Stabila LAR350, and I want to walk you through what I learned before you decide whether to invest. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest promise this kit makes is fully self-leveling for both horizontal and vertical planes, plus a dual slope function that lets you set up to a 5-degree incline without a separate protractor. In theory, that means you could set up a perfect slope for a drainage pipe or a sloped countertop in a single step. The question is, does it actually work when you're in a cramped attic, a dusty outdoors job, or a home renovation where you're constantly moving the unit around? I started by setting it up inside a 2-story house where I needed to run a new line of trim along a wall that wasn't perfectly straight. The LED assist lights made it easy to see the beam in a dimly lit room, and the laser locked onto level within a few seconds of power on. The real-time visual cue was a big help because I could see the beam without having to squint or chase the laser with a handheld detector. Once it was level, I engaged the dual slope mode, dialed in a 1-degree tilt, and watched the laser maintain that angle as I moved the unit a few feet away. The slope held steady, and the beam didn't drift, which saved me from having to take multiple measurements with a separate angle finder. That kind of reliability is where the LAR350 starts to justify its price. In a typical residential project, you'll end up moving the laser from room to room, and each time you power it on you want it to settle quickly. The fully self-leveling claim holds up. The unit finds level in under 10 seconds even when you set it up on a slightly uneven floor tile. The patented Stabila protector system also impressed me. I've dropped laser heads before, and the protective housing here actually prevented any damage when I accidentally knocked the unit against a concrete block while repositioning it. It's a small detail, but it means you won't be scrambling for a replacement head after a minor mishap. Now, let's talk about the situations where the LAR350 might not be the best fit. If you're a DIY hobbyist who only needs a laser for occasional ceiling fan installations or hanging pictures, the extra features dual slope, vertical leveling, and the 9-piece kit might feel like overkill. The kit includes a tripod, a detector, a range pole, and a few accessories, which is great for professionals who need the whole system ready to go, but it also adds weight and bulk. Carrying the whole kit up a ladder to a roof deck can be a chore, especially if you're the only person on the job. Another practical weakness is the manual alignment knob. While the self-leveling does the heavy lifting, fine-tuning the beam still requires you to turn a knob by hand. In my experience, the knob feels a bit loose, and it can be tricky to get that exact micro-adjustment without looking at a separate level. It's not a deal-breaker, but if you're someone who demands pixel-perfect precision for, say, a tiled floor that must line up with a wall exactly, you might find yourself double-checking with a spirit level anyway. Battery life is another point to consider. The LAR350 runs on a set of rechargeable batteries that the manufacturer says will last for several hours of continuous use. In real-world testing, I got about 3 hours of solid operation before the indicator started flashing. That's plenty for most day-long jobs, but if you're working on a large outdoor site without easy access to power, you'll want to have a spare set on hand. The kit doesn't include a wall charger, so you'll need to purchase one separately if you don't already have a compatible charger. So, who should actually buy this thing? If you're a contractor, an interior remodeler, or a landscape professional who regularly needs both horizontal and vertical references, the LAR350's ability to lock into a slope and stay level across large distances is a genuine time saver. The included detector and range pole make it a ready-to-go system, and the protective housing gives you confidence that a drop won't ruin your day. For anyone who does a lot of ceiling work, drywall hanging, or floor leveling, the vertical mode eliminates the need for a separate plumb line or separate vertical laser. On the other hand, if you're a casual homeowner who only